How do you recognize you're ready for a co-packer? We are going to dive into what time is the right time for co-packers. What are the variables you should be aware of? Welcome to Marketing Food Online, YouTube's premier food entrepreneur channel. We bring you information and experience from food entrepreneurs to help you get your food business started. In order to determine if your food organization awaits a co-packer, there are a few obstacles you will need to take into consideration. 1. Your recipe is scalable. After reproducing your dish for the 100th time, the possibilities are you can do it with your eyes closed. Yet unlike making your product in the versatile setting of a residence or commercial kitchen area, industrial automation requires incredibly comprehensive recipes without any unclear factors. Distinctions in processes, equipment, and components themselves can have a significant influence on the final product. Before you begin the search for a co-packer, you will require to ensure your recipe is both accurate as well as big sufficient to fulfill the co-packer's minimum. This will help to get rid of any confusion throughout the manufacturing procedure. Here are some vital things to keep in mind when enhancing your food. Component weights. Offering the exact weight of each ingredient ensures that your item comes out perfectly each time. This precision produces a convenient method to scale up the dish regardless of the dimension of the manufacturing run. As an example, if you possess an organization that manufactures chocolate chip cookies, possibilities are your recipe asks for the measurements in cups or tablespoons. Yet these dimensions can be interpreted in different ways depending upon who is making the dish. Are the tablespoons rounded? Is the sugar loaded right into the determining cup? Also, a mug of chocolate chips will have various quantities from one set to an additional. By taping your measurements precisely in weights, you ensure that all batches will certainly lead to uniform cookies, regardless of what is in charge of production. Times and also temperature levels. Manufacturing widespread suggests there is no area for variables. While time and temperature ranges might help smaller-sized sets, precise dimensions are needed when taking care of industrial cooking areas and also multiple workers. 2. You predict sufficient demand. Identifying the projected need for your product plays a substantial function in determining if you are ready to start collaborating with a co-packer. Even the tiniest co-packers can need a minimal quantity of hundreds, or even thousands, of devices needed to start a manufacturing run. If the existing demand is low sufficient to meet this minimum, you might be looking at an investment more than your company can take care of. When identifying just how your existing need compares to the co-packer's minimums, consider the list below. Forecasted need for your food item. Demand is very prone to change. Whether it is from getting brand new store positionings or a forthcoming vacation rush, your future need might be completely different than it presently is. Understanding just how these needs might change will certainly let you figure out if the co-packer's minimum is reasonable for your present organization. How long of a shelf life? Even if the demand is not currently that high, meeting the minimum might be a viable alternative if your product has enough shelf life. For instance, visualize you are collaborating with a co-packer who calls for a minimum of 1,500 units per run. If your item has a lifespan of 1 year and the forecasted demand is 500 units a month, one manufacturing run would certainly generate enough units to please nearly 4 months' well worth of demand. If your item has an incredibly stable shelf life, it might be worth purchasing a solitary go to see how swiftly your item will market. Do note that there are added costs related to this, like storage space. 3. Financial resources. If your recipe prepared and your item has a high sufficient demand, it may seem like the best time to begin the look for a co-packer. But remember, working with a co-packer is a large monetary investment. Making use of the bulk manufacturing abilities of co-packer results in a reduced cost per produced system. But there are other prices related to co-packing you will need to think about, past just the real production. Active ingredients and also packaging. Relying on your choice, you may choose to provide your very own active ingredients as well as packaging or have the co-packer source them for you. Each of these alternatives features its very own costs. Some co-packers likewise provide the choice of generating the product, as well as returning it to you for the final packaging. While this might reduce the prices of a production run, it might not always be the very best alternative for your product. If you own a salsa business, having the bulk-ended up product delivered to you to package it on your own may not be excessive of trouble. However, if your item is tortilla chips, obtaining these items securely delivered to you without causing any kind of damages to the product is more of a challenge, specifically if they are being shipped in large quantities. Keeping the integrity of your items is essential when evaluating the benefits of product packaging on your own, or having the co-packer do it for you. Now let's cover research and development. More and more co-packers are giving R&D as a solution. If your recipe needs a little job before it prepares to mass, or you require chemicals in order to make your product shelf stable, these prices can add up. How much storage space will you need? Lots of co-packers are willing to save your finished product for an additional charge. Before utilizing their storage facilities, you may intend to investigate if you have space and also abilities to save the item on your own. Remember, however, there will still be shipping fees. Production of the product on your own permits you to promptly reinvest the revenues back right into business. Scaling up your company with a co-packer, nonetheless, means paying hundreds of bucks up front simply to begin one manufacturing run. If this first financial investment puts a financial stress on your organization, waiting until you have much more resources may be an excellent idea. Keep in mind, when handling new customers, co-packers commonly choose organizations to companion keeping that have promising development capacity and sufficient capital to fund numerous production runs. 4. You recognize the effects of co-packing even if you are not ready to make a commitment to a co-packer. Acquainting yourself with exactly how they work over time will indicate you prepare when the time comes. Different co-packers may offer different solutions, each with their own prices. Recognizing precisely what you are trying to find will certainly give you an indication of exactly how close you might be to collaborating with a co-packer. Speaking with fellow food entrepreneurs concerning their experiences with co-packers can prove extremely useful in judging your preparedness for a co-packer. Getting advice from others who you know or not will help your steps go smoothly. Lastly, occasionally, co-packers can actually assist your organization. Other times, if you're a true artisan, you might be the only one that can put that credibility and honesty into the item. Which is okay too. Understanding your organization and also goals will certainly aid you to identify if dealing with a co-packer is the ideal choice for you.
Thanks for watching Marketing Food Online. And if you are looking to create your own food truck, start a home-based food business under the cottage food law, franchise a food operation, start a packaged food business, private label your own food product, sell on Amazon, get your own online store, or sell food online, remember to subscribe and check out these videos for more resources. Take care.